Hi, everybody. Today we are learning about the Empire of Islam. We are learning how the Muslim Arabs united their own peninsula and then conquered a vast empire. And today we're going to look at some illustrations describing some of these steps. So, as we know, Muhammad, we are told, began preaching in Mecca. And this is an oasis town on the caravan routes along the western area of Arabia. Mecca was already a religious center. A shrine there, the Kaaba, may have been long destinations of pilgrims even before Islam. Muhammad wished to purify the Kaaba, and he angered local leaders by questioning the power of their pagan gods and ancestors. In 622, he and his followers had to leave the city. They went to Medina, where Muhammad was welcomed and was soon in command. This migration marks the start of the Muslim calendar. In Medina, Muhammad's role changed. Unlike Moses or Jesus, Islam's prophet was as much a political and a military leader as a religious figure. And under his leadership, the Arabs united and launched an age of imperial expansion, second to none. Now, Arab armies were made of nomadic warriors. They fought effectively on camel and horseback, and when they needed to, they could retreat easily into the desert areas where most of their enemies feared to go. Also, their new faith helped to motivate them. Armies alone, however, could not have won an empire for the Arabs. The Byzantine and Persian empires were weak after centuries of warfare with each other, and many heretical Christian sects were unhappy about mistreatment by their Byzantine rulers. As a result, the Arab conquerors were able to swiftly create one of the world's greatest empires. When they crossed from Spain into France, they encountered greater resistance. Their imperial conquests were finally stopped in 732 by Charles Martel in the Battle of Tours, shown here. Now, if you remember who Charles Martel is, type that in the chat. Now let's take a look at this map. So first of all, I always look at the title of the map because usually it'll tell you when it is dated, and also the key, which will explain color codes, symbols, etc. So this map shows how huge the Arab Empire became in just the first century of its expansion. By the middle of the 8th century, they had united all the key centers of ancient civilization except for those in the Far East. The lands of ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, along with large parts of the former Roman Empire, were under their control. Persia was taken over completely, and the Byzantine Empire drastically reduced in size. From Spain to the borders of India, a vast region was united, and a new Islamic civilization began to thrive. In comparison, Europe was isolated, disunited land of tiny principalities hemmed in and under siege. And that is what we just finished learning about, was the medieval Europe during that time period. So we could see how vastly different it is compared to the Middle East. Let's talk some more about it.